In 2016, a video went viral that showed a lizard seemingly transforming itself by shedding its tail to escape a predator. This bizarre behavior seemed like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's actually a real phenomenon. We're going to tell you why lizards do it right now. If you're confused by that viral video, you're not alone. Lizards can't actually regrow new tails, at least not in the way you might think. The process is more akin to a salamander losing its tail, which is to say they lose their tails in one piece. But unlike salamanders, most lizards can't regrow an entire new tail with new vertebrae and all. Instead, they kind of just grow a new end to their old tails. And that new bit doesn't have any bones or vertebrae either. It's just a fleshy, scaly appendage that kind of vaguely looks like a tail. But before we get into why they do this, we need to explain how this is even possible. We already know that lizards can regrow tails after losing them, but until recently, we didn't know exactly how they do it. Thanks to some very patient researchers, we now have a good idea of what happens at the cellular level when a lizard loses its tail. In 2023, researchers at the University of Manchester used a combination of X-rays and microcomputed tomography to look at the process of tail regeneration in two species of African spiny-tailed lizards. They found that after losing their tails, lizards start to reabsorb the tip of their shattered tails. Then cells near the break start dividing rapidly and form a blastema, which is basically a mass of cells that will eventually become the new tail. Cells from the original tail contribute to the new tail as well, which might be one reason why the new tail is shorter than the original. The cells migrate from the original tail to the base of the amputated tail, where they form the blastema, and then voila, new tail. But why would a lizard want to do this? Well, there are two main benefits to losing your tail, and the viral video perfectly illustrates them. First, it can confuse predators. In the wild, many animals rely on their tails to help them balance and maneuver, and some predators use the shape and movement of a potential meal's tail to help identify what kind of prey they're looking at. If a lizard loses its tail, it becomes harder for predators to figure out what kind of animal they're dealing with, which means they might just let it go. Second, dropping your tail can help you escape. A lizard's tail makes up about half of its total length, and it's usually its heaviest body part, so losing it gives lizards more control over their bodies, helping them to escape predators. Just watch this gecko escape in slow motion. When the gecko loses its tail, it immediately starts running away. And without its heavy long tail dragging it down, it can move much more quickly. Now, this doesn't come without a cost, though. After they drop their tails, lizards are more vulnerable to being caught by predators. So ultimately, losing your tail is a kind of last resort. And there is evidence that some lizards have second thoughts about doing this. Researchers who observed green iguanas in the wild noticed that sometimes after breaking off their tails, the lizards would try to grab onto their tails as they escaped, suggesting that they regretted their decision to shed their tails. Those iguanas probably wished they could take back their hasty decision. But unfortunately for them, it's impossible once the tail is gone. The ability to regrow a tail isn't unique to lizards. Some other reptiles can do it too, as well as a few amphibians, fish, and even a mammal or two. But no matter what species can do it, the ability to regrow a body part is pretty extraordinary. And while we still have a lot to learn about how exactly lizards regrow their tails, we can be thankful that there are people who are studying these amazing creatures so we can learn more about them. So the next time you see a lizard, make sure to give it a respectful nod, because who knows what kind of regenerative powers it has, unless it's a green iguana. Then maybe give it a wide berth because it might be feeling a little grumpy. Thanks for watching this episode of Sea Show, and thanks especially to our supporters who helped us make this episode. If you would like to get your name at the end of a SCI show video, you can support us through our website.